Yes. Okay.
Okay. Holly Porter is a speaker, retreat strategist, and founder of the Retreat RNR. She brings decades of entrepreneurial experience and a life story that inspires transformation. After surviving a life-threatening illness and receiving powerful spiritual guidance, she chose to build businesses that support others in leading with passion and purpose. Holly has helped many entrepreneurs create events and retreats that grow their business and change lives. Let's all welcome Holly Porter.
Welcome.
Thank you, Susie. That was so sweet. Okay, let me get my screen up here. Thanks for having me. All right, can everybody see that?
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to be talking about the retreat effect. I'm curious. Oh, and I can't see everybody on here. Um, Maybe put in the chat so I can read when we're done. Like if you've ever done a retreat, write that, or if you've ever thought about doing a retreat. I'm just kind of curious who
Yes.
has. Yeah,
Yes.
we probably all thought about it if we're entrepreneurs, for sure, um, because that's just what we do, right? Oops. Okay, so I'm just really excited to be here today. So I've spent over 25 years running businesses, hosting events, and helping others create powerful transformations. I've built a salon and spa for 20 years. I've sold real estate for 20 years, and I've coached a lot of entrepreneurs and business uh, people. But everything shifted, of course, when I ended up in the hospital with COVID. We all suffer from COVID. I'm not special there. I can't think actually of anything the whole world didn't suffer from at the same time as COVID time. And if you can, let me know because I really the whole world was suffering at the same time so quickly. And my journey was just a little bit different because I had a 70-day stay, and many of those days almost died. So I had two intubations and a trachea and sepsis, just all kinds of fun things. But the best thing I had that came out of that was some spiritual experiences. There's out of body experiences, there is spiritual transformation experiences, and then there's near death experiences, which I'm sure you've all heard about. And if any of you want more info on that, I've done lots of podcasts, or I could send you a link that shares just those stories because they're like half an hour, 45 minutes long, but pretty intense. But I believe setbacks leave things open for the biggest comebacks. And I'm celebrating this week. I have to brag because I've worked really hard on my health because long COVID set in after I got out of the hospital. It's been about 3.5 years, and I was told I needed to get on a lung transplant list from my pulmonologist. Didn't share that I had pulmonary fibrosis or anything. He just turned around and looked at me in his office and said, "Oh, we probably should get you on a lung transplant list." Well, when you go Google it, don't ever do that, by the way, because you're dying if you Google your symptoms. And it's ChatGPT wasn't around then. And it basically told me I had 2 to 4 years to live. Well, I wasn't going to accept that. And I realized that lung transplants were worse than heart transplants, by the way, and watched lots of videos and grossed myself out completely till I just decided, what am I going to do to heal? And so I just focused on the healing journey part of it. I knew that if God saved me, He's my higher power, that I had things to do, and I live for a reason. So I wasn't going to put up with that. But what I just learned was from my new pulmonologist I've had. He did all my testing, and usually I have to go in annually to see if things are changing. And he told me this week that on my pulmonary function test, I blew over 100% on everything. And he is not concerned about my lungs at all. There still is some scarring, but they look fine. And I don't even have to test every year. So that's a big win when you get told you might have to have a lung transplant. So we have to look for those things to celebrate. And what I saw on the other side was love and clarity and purpose. And I came back with a mission and some clear things to do. And I feel really blessed that I had that experience. The pain and the headaches and heartaches and health challenges that I had because of that wasn't fun. But the rest of it is just, it's just a journey. We're all here to learn, and we're all here to have our own experiences and lessons. And one clear message I learned was that every single moment counts. And we need to remember that when we're having those hard days, give yourself that moment to have a hard time, an hour, a minute, a day, whatever that looks like for you, and then get over it and move on because tomorrow's a new day. And we all can start fresh that way. And this all leads me into the whys and about retreats and the things that they do. And that's what we're going to be talking about because this all led me to this. I had been doing events and retreats for years, but it led me to an idea of a software company, which I had never had. I had 11 startups, but never had a software company. And I just felt like when you bring people together in an intentional space, you don't just help them, you really move them. You wake something up when you put them in a group where they can be themselves and be vulnerable. And then you build a business that's aligned and profitable and unforgettable for you as the retreat leader. I say that's a win-win, win-win. Um, I'll never forget the retreat I had after I started getting better and just a short little one with some women. And it just, everyone left changed. You can see so much transformation bringing people in a group, especially women, and just see them become best friends after that. And they end up being lifelong friends after that. And to me, that lights me up to be able to do that. So let's talk about why retreats are a smart business move. So we are in a crowded marketplace and there's coaching, consulting, courses, content. The digital space is full and people are just overwhelmed right now. And I'm sure you'd all agree with that.
Mhm.
But do you know what still sells? Transformation. And I know it's a buzzword, but it doesn't come from getting more information and sitting online in meetings and going to meetings and just getting overloaded with that. It comes from experience. And when we bring someone in and show them an experience and it attaches the memory to that, and then it attaches that memory to you as a retreat leader because you brought that experience to them and to that group. So retreats let you stand out in that saturated marketplace. You can charge premium prices because you're offering something different, a little outside of the box than the norm. It's not just, I kind of laugh when people still are having events, those 2.5 3 day events, and call them a retreat because you're sitting in a hotel conference room learning all the time. And I feel like it's just a little buzzword they're using because you can get lots of transformation in events. I love events and I'm an event junkie, but I wouldn't quite compare that to a transformational retreat where you're in a different space than that. You can create deeper trust, and breakthroughs for people are so much faster, like light speed. Like I said, you can connect people that are lifelong friends, but the changes that you see in people just in days or a day. Sometimes it can be hours, are just remarkable. Depends what your outline is and what your goals are for whatever you're doing for whatever retreat that is. You can extend your client journey in very meaningful ways, and bringing those people together also elevates you as a leader. If you already offer coaching and group programs, courses, events, then a retreat isn't a brand new business model. It's just better packaging of what you already do. Stay in your zone of genius and think about, I'm always about multiple streams of income. I've been teaching that way before it was even popular because I had 11 startups and there was usually 3 or 4 that crossed over at a time. I like juggling. I guess I like multitasking. I like change. That's unlike a lot of people. But I just always wanted to make sure whatever I was doing, I was happy and I was having fun. Those were the deal breakers for me. So don't go out and think, oh, I have to start another business and I have to go get a new LLC. No, think about what your business is now. How can you incorporate retreats into what you're already doing as just another income stream? And think about those high end packages maybe that you have that you're struggling to get people to invest in right now. Well, what better way than to bring people in for 3 to 5 7 days even, and let them and you decide if you really know, like, and trust them. Do you really want to take that kind of money from them and work with them a one-on-one that close? Do they really want to spend that kind of money on you and really work with you that close? Bringing them in a retreat setting, I feel like can just be a great upsell for that. If that's your model, maybe just the retreat's your model. But if selling them something more, I always think, whatever you're doing and what if you're bringing a group of people together, always be ready to give them more because they're wanting that. You're the expert in that space and they want to know how they can work with you. So don't feel like it is feeling like you're being salesy or anything. You're not. You're offering them a gift. The gift is you. They already invested in you so far if they're at the retreat. Give them a way to do more. When you run a retreat, you go from being a service provider to an experience creator. I love that, an experience creator. And people don't forget how you made them feel because they become raving fans from you. And we've all heard that over the years. Okay, let's talk about the retreat revenue stack. I like that's a tongue twister. How you actually make money. So let's talk about the numbers. And a lot of people are afraid to host retreats because they don't know if they'll be profitable and nobody wants to lose money. And I feel like I see that over and over. Part of our company offers a concierge service where we do everything for you. We let you stay in your zone of genius and you have us come in soup to nuts. All the bells and whistles are taken care of, even people on the ground at the retreat to help you service those clients that are there and make sure everything just runs smoothly. And the best part is a retreat leader gets to sleep at night because everything's taken care of for them. They're not worrying about the little things going on behind the scenes. So that's where retreats can be incredibly lucrative, but you have to do them right. And so there is a little bit of a learning curve to them. And what a better way to learn from someone else's mistakes rather than go make them on your own. So here's how the money breaks down. The retreat fee, all right, so depending on your niche and your offer, you can make anywhere from $500 to $3,000 per person by doing a retreat. You can have VIP add-ons, so make those special things. Those could be even after retreat follow-ups. I suggest people do that anyway with their groups. I suggest you meet with people prior to the retreat, get them together on Zoom so that when they show up, they've already known faces, they've already talked a little bit, and they already are starting to get to know each other. I feel like the transformation will happen a lot faster at a retreat if you do those things. But you can add on VIP things and just think of extra things like private sessions, bonus night stays, maybe a night before, a night after, so they can integrate some of the things that you've been working on. Swag bags, maybe they get an extra special swag bag. I'm a gift giver, so like I love swag. In fact, I have a checklist. If anybody wants it, you can ask me for it. That gives you 4 or 5 pages of different things in categories of what you could put in swag bags to make them special. And they don't have to be really expensive, but if you're doing a high end retreat, I think people expect to really get that extra catering too, and you want to over deliver in anything that you do. If you're putting the effort into giving and doing events and retreats, then make the effort into making that swag special. Then you do digital upsells, so access to online content, post retreat integration calls. Maybe you hired a photographer, videographer that's there, and maybe that's something part of the VIP package. So then that wants them want to pay a little bit more so that they get that experience and they get to watch it and fill it later. Then back end offers, those are your high ticket, higher level coaching, mastermind certifications that you might have, or memberships. Those are just some other ways you can bonus and make a little extra income. Affiliate or partner revenue. So this is a great thing from venues, food partners, wellness products, photographers, even your retreat guests that come. You can, especially a lot of times, if you really over deliver and you do a great job at your retreats, then they want to know what's next. They want to, when's your next retreat? Because they're going to come. And a lot of retreat leaders have repeat people because no retreat is the same. They're always going to, even if you're teaching the same, you're one different person in the room can change the whole energy of it, good or bad, actually. But just be open to that. And if you just have those things available so that people can bring a friend and get that affiliate, get a little bit off if you bring a friend, Those are always, people love specials, they love deals, they love perks. So offer them. All right, now let's jump into real client example. So one of my clients hosted a 3-day retreat in Sedona, very common. Sedona is a big retreat place. A 3-day is usually about the minimum I would recommend. That's 2 nights, 3 days, 3 nights, 4 days. Those are really common because you can do them over a long weekend. That way people are extra time on their jobs and they can come. But she made $12,000 profit just from doing the retreat for 3 days, guys, gals, I mean. And she enrolled 4 clients into her $6,000 mastermind that she held. And so that retreat just didn't pay her. It really launched her to her next level and gave her that little extra push in some income. So you're not just offering a weekend, you're building an ecosystem around transformational moment that is scalable. So that is sustainable, and really that is smart business. Personally, I'm so excited. I'm starting a group of retreats in Roatan, and that's in between Belize and Honduras. So I'm super excited. In fact, I think we're moving there. I'm so excited. So just I'm excited to go to new places all the time, and my husband and I are ready for a new adventure. We just got back from there, and they're building some great projects. So if anyone's thinking about doing something in Roatan, let's talk about that. And I wouldn't recommend going international. If you haven't done retreats before, stay stateside for now till you get a couple of them under your belt. Just a little tip there. Okay, how retreats build trust, loyalty, and community. So in the retreat setting, everything deepens. Everyone just is open to be open, more open, I should say. Your clients trust in you, their trust in themselves, their connection to each other is just amazing. Put in the chat if you've ever attended a retreat. Kind of curious about that too. Then really, that's where the transformation sticks. When someone has a major shift in your retreat, whether it's crying on a mountaintop or journaling a business breakthrough by the fire, I'll always associate that with you. And I mentioned that a couple minutes ago. That just, what a great feeling, though, to give someone a great feeling and a great experience. And then it's all tied back because you brought that to them. It's like when you make a great introduction and connection to somebody else, especially through GSFE, and you're connecting to someone, that people remember that. They don't forget that. And that always lights me up to know that they're still, I love the rest of the story later when you hear about them doing business together or being friends and you created that for them. That always makes me excited. And then there's the bond that's worth more than any funnel or email sequence that you can ever do by creating that for them. So retreat attendees become your best testimonials. Like I said, a lot of people like to come back to the same people's retreats, especially if you hold them in different locations so that they can experience different locations. So don't get stuck on just one place because there's so many places to visit, and transformation can happen really anywhere that you create if you do it right. And then refer others like crazy. That's what they do, and then they come back again and again. So at one of my retreats, we had women from 4 different countries. That was really cool. But by the end of day 2, it's like all of them were sisters, and they talk all the time, and then they share their growth. And I think that's just amazing. We can do business all over the world. We just have to work through those time zones. Those are a little challenging sometimes. Okay, so your first retreat, if you're getting started, even if you're not ready, I hear that all the time. Well, maybe when this or maybe when that. I'm not ready yet. Why not? What's going to get you ready? What's going to make you make that decision? If you have to think about it too long, then maybe this isn't your model. Maybe it's not for you. But well, what's holding you back and what's the fear behind it if you really are thinking about it and you haven't done it yet? So people will say, I want to do a retreat someday, but I don't know where to start. But you don't need to go to Bali. You don't have to, like, Costa Rica is where I'm going to do. Let that be something you are aspiring to. But like I said, get some under your belt first. Do some of them at home. All you need is a clear intention, a space, even a living room or a cozy Airbnb, a framework for transformation, And that's probably what you already have if you're in business. And then just start small, a 1 day local retreat. I call it a day treat. You could do a weekend immersive, sorry, for like 6 people and keep it small. You could even do a virtual half-day retreat, and those work too. They're not as powerful, but they work. So don't overthink it. Just get in the room with your people and figure out what that's going to take to make that happen. Your first retreat doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to be real. And people will feel that and then have the next step ready for them to go, especially if you start with a day treat and just make it really fun and then go into a 2 to 3 day, 3 to 4 day workout that way. It's not about perfection, it's about presence. Make sure you're leading from the heart and the right people will show up. All right. Let's see. So, why retreats? Because they give you income and impact. They create transformation and trust. They align your business with purpose. You already have what it takes. You have the skills. You're in business. You're an entrepreneur. You've been doing this probably for a while. You've got the wisdom, the heart. All you need is a format. If this has stirred something in you, or if your soul said, yeah, maybe we should talk. At Retreat R&R, we help leaders like you plan, promote, and profit from transformational retreats, whether it's your first or your 15th. You can always learn, you can always grow. And for those ready to explore, we also have a real estate division in Retreat R&R that buys and sells luxury retreat properties for people. And we're adding things to that plan all the time. So if that's something you're thinking more on that level, then let's chat about that too, whether you want to buy a venue, host one, or sell your own. We've created a marketplace really for that. So you're not just creating an event, remember, you're creating a legacy. And I want to also share. My things jumping all over the place. We have a podcast called All Things Retreat. I'll go put in the chat a link that if you think your business could be relatable to retreat leaders, then, and you don't have to be doing retreats or anything to be on that, let me know and maybe we can work out something and have you come be a guest of our show. But I'll put in the link some information on that. And then I have a gift for all of you that are thinking about maybe I want to do this. This sounds like something I could really get my hands around. Are you retreat ready checklist? And so if you go to that link, and I will again post that on the chat as well, so you can grab it. But go grab it and let's see if you are ready and how you like it. I'd love feedback on that. And that is it, unless we have some questions. I just want to thank you for being with me today. Let's create the space where your business grows and your clients thrive. The retreat effect is real. So let's figure out a way to make it yours. Thanks.
Oh, thank you. So I know we have 7 minutes. So somebody has questions about retreat that Holly can answer? No? So, okay.
Oh,
Shebra.
yeah.
Shebra.
Yeah,
Yes.
I where does the retreats be? Are they local or are you travel or are they where are your retreats at?
So I don't focus as much anymore on my own personal retreats as I
Mhm.
do number one, helping people with the concierge service. And then the software that we have created is not created. It's in development. That is
Okay.
set up more like a booking site for do-it-yourselfers that want to come in and build their own retreats. And
Okay.
so we also do, consulting for people that want, we've got help you do it yourself, help you, and done for you kind of models.
Okay.
So it just depends what
Thank
you're looking for. Yeah, thanks.
Great.
I was curious.
Yeah, Dana, go ahead.
Yes. So I love the idea of treats. I've been to a few. I've thought about having my own, but I'm not a coach. Or is there a way do you like pair people up together to do retreats?
Absolutely. So the best pair would be one that you find yourself that
Okay.
already can, personality styles can work together.
Mm-hmm.
just be careful. I mean, of course I hear the good, the bad, and the ugly, right?
Sure.
So a lot of times those end up disastrous before the retreat even happens because they're planning them a year out and something happens or somebody doesn't follow through with what they're supposed to be doing and the partnership doesn't end well and then one person gets stuck holding all the finances and I mean just take all those into considerations. But if you have something you want to bring to the table and there's a good connection with someone else, I would just make sure maybe that's not a new relationship, it's someone you know, like, and trust yourself.
Okay.
As a little warning. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good idea.
Good advice. Thank you.
Good.
Thank you.
So I have a question for you, Holly. Thank you. I think this is a very good information for us. It's very educational to me. So if, let's say, GSFE, we want to have a retreat, what role can you offer us to help?
Yeah. Well, I think the biggest thing for groups, especially bigger groups like yours, would be the concierge service, basically, because then you're already putting it, you're going to budget that into your charge. You want to try to make it as a big a fit for as many members as can, but obviously not everybody, because there's no way you could host the whole GSFA people.
Right.
Right. I mean,
Right.
you've got to consider where it is, because there's travel expenses from other countries if people are coming, or across state from west to east, north to south. And so just taking those into consideration and finding the right locations. And that's why, you know, people like me with my team, we can do all those things. So you guys as the leaders of GSFE just show up, and whatever you're doing, whatever you're teaching, that's what your focus is. Everything else is taken care of. So we really customize it. I can't say, oh, this is what we charge. Every single person is a custom fit depending on what their needs are. And I take about 90 minutes to figure that out with you so that we get the best locations, get the best situation that's going to be the best outcome for the retreat leader or group.
Okay, that's very exciting. So, and yeah, the reason I asked that, because I'm the type of person that I like to have somebody that an expert in it. And just to give you briefly, when I got married, I hired a person to arrange everything for the wedding because I don't want to have the stress. And
I never had that luxury.
yeah,
we paid the
and
wedding.
book the place, everything. And to me, I want to focus on being happy and stress, not stressful, right?
Yeah.
So that was to me one of the best investment. Even my parents said, "Wow, you're one of the bright that is not even stressed." Yeah, because somebody else is doing all the stuff for me. And so that was very great investment. So that's what I'm thinking, like here, right, Susie? Because we're talking about that, and for our members to see and to I like the idea. So then we get together and learning something together in the environment that's very relaxing, that people will appreciate that instead of just going all over the place. And so I think it will be very good. And a lot of times people worry also, and maybe you can answer for us. The first thing people always says, "Oh, it's so expensive. We can't afford that." That I always hear that. People always say like that. So what would you, when somebody's tell you that, what would you tell your client?
I would probably tell them a couple transformational stories of some other people that said that to me, and then after they bit the bullet and they came, and the transformation they had, and what would your business look like in a year if you're not willing to invest in yourself? Because it really is a self investment. It's not just a business investment; it's a personal investment. It's a time investment, financial. I mean, all those are in factors. So it's like, I always think when you say that, risk takers are the money makers. I mean,
Yes, yeah.
there's just, and not saying a retreat is a risk, but for someone that's in that mindset, let's help them get out of that mindset. Maybe the retreat is the best thing to do that for them. You're giving them the biggest present you could by having their presence at your retreat.
Thank you. Yeah, because that's what I think. It's and I know Holly is our GSMP member, so to me, I'm so grateful that she's helping us, to learn about retreat. And I know, Lori, you used to have retreat, right? Before COVID. I mean, actually in-person retreat, not virtual, right? Lori, in your business?
Yeah, I've owned and operated 3 retreat centers, so we constantly had people coming. And as just
With my
today,
baby.
everything that Holly said is so true. And just today, I had a text from a client who had been at a retreat in 2012 and
Wow.
said, I hope it's okay. I shared my retreat experience with the minister, which is a high-end government official here in Canada, of social services for the province of Saskatchewan, and she'll be reaching out to you. So you see the impact. They came in busloads.
Wow.
So, and we've made sure we met all needs, emotional, physical, spiritual, and mental. So we balanced it out to make sure the food was top drawer. I had a Red Seal executive chef who worked at Banff. He was my chef. So yes, I would highly encourage everyone, even like Holly said, just start with a little 1 day or a little 2 day just to get your feet wet. And it was and is and always has been the most lucrative piece of my business. So when COVID hit, we couldn't bring anybody in and it just went to the basement. But now we're rebuilding again. And here's all these people that we talked to years ago who, oh my gosh, yes. When's your next one? What are you going to do next?
Yeah.
So thank you, Holly. Much
I'd love to
appreciated.
connect with you a little bit more on that, especially the venue part of it. That'd be great.
Yes. Mhm.
Great. Thank you, Lori, for sharing that information and experience, because I know I used to go to retreat when I was at corporate. I'm so very thankful the company actually invested in us having a retreat every year. And we call it offsite. At that time, they didn't call it retreat, they call it offsite. And to me now, the way you explained it is a retreat. And every year, and so because the employee become refreshed and they become appreciative, and so I think that is what we would like to invest our people in retreat. Thank you so much. And so now I am going to stop